Are we kicking in? Ready to stream in a little bit, maybe any moment now. Ready to stream in. Looks like we're live on YouTube, then we'll probably be live on Twitch. All right, welcome to Code Hangout number 115. Sudoku backup. It is time to work on the very, very important issue of data retention on SudokuPad, which currently has a problem where sometimes an upgrade to a new version wipes the data out. And I'm going to work on this today, and I'm going to write down a couple of items for this. So we will have two main approaches. One, store local app data in files. So currently we're using local storage, which apparently is treated sometimes like temporary storage on iOS, apparently all the time, but sometimes it's retained. So if I move that storage into files, hopefully the odds of the data being retained between installs is greater. And maybe any kind of automated backup system or app transfer system between phones and things like that will also work more reliably. And the second approach is to basically add a manual backup and restore system in the app, so people can literally press a button to create a backup, you know, and this will be good for debugging. I can have multiple states. I can have people send me a backup of the data to take a look at it, etc., etc. So we have a manual backup and restore feature. Now, both of these are kind of very closely linked because they both depend on basically organizing all the app data into a file. And also they depend on interacting with the file system. And I don't know, for example, in the second version, if there's any other option than to interact with the file system. Like, I don't know if I can emit, quote unquote, a file and letting the user deal with it, right? Almost like the share option or something, like in some apps where you can say, like, share it to my Dropbox or share it to my Files app or something. But that's something we'll look into. And it's probably going to be a little bit custom between iOS and Android and Windows. But the core aspects of kind of file system interaction and so on, that's definitely for both of them. And then in the future, was there a third option that I should consider? A moment ago I thought there was, but for now I think this is where we want to go. And yeah. Now I've started this work a long time ago, when I started this update that I just brought live this week, which was at the end of December 2021, and I had to actually remove some of the stuff, some of the work that I've done for it. And the work basically consisted of three major aspects. Main components. And we're just going to rename these as to make them look like headers for listings. So the main components are combining all relevant app data into one file. And this basically includes puzzles, progress, and settings, and app settings. More or less, right? These are the main aspects. Then integrate, I don't know what we want to call it, plugin or file load save. And then user/system interface base for manual or automatic save and restore. Because there might be a hook. For example, I don't know, maybe Android has a hook where when an update happens to the app, I can have some code run to make sure or I can have a manifest that tells them these files are important, you know, that kind of thing. Hello. I am afraid I cannot pronounce your username. I'm gonna run it through a translator. If you don't mind. Okay, I'm not gonna even try that. I'm sure it's just some sort of nickname. How are you doing? Maybe it means coon or something like that. Or chin. Chin, chibi? Chan, maybe? My Japanese is more than lacking. Okay, so let's have a quick look at what I had already worked on. So there should be a file storage class. So this was, I think... So this was my wrapper around the sort of plugin that I had found. And then I think I have a backup class. And the backup class is basically the higher level component that handles all the interaction with the app. So this deals with the app, and this one wraps around the file storage thing. But in a way, they're more or less independent. Like this just says, hey, file storage thing, save this data. You know, file storage thing, get me that data. But this manages where the data goes and how it's organized and all this stuff. And while it is directly dependent on the file storage thing, maybe we can disconnect these. So maybe this class just manages the data, doesn't know anything about get backup from file, etc., right? And then these other things are handled in the main app, right? So the main app says, hey, backup class, create a backup, you know, and then it says, hey, file storage class, save this backup to a file, you know, that kind of thing. Because right now it manages with this. And all of this stuff was kind of not 100% working because I was still working on it, right? Otherwise, it would have made it into the update. So let's have a bit of a look exactly what we have. What's the shape of this thing? Is there anything else we want to do? Ah, yes. And before we get started, we probably want to merge this branch back into main. Yeah, because now we've done the update, right? So if we look at this repo, if that is indeed the repo, right? So we should be able to do a compare between main and the update core 0240. Right. So we should be able to merge that into main. All right. And I'm going to keep this around, and I might have to take this off screen. I should have done this before the stream, to be honest. Because there might be some keys and things like that. Let's have a quick look. Oh man, I haven't done merging and so on in so long. My Git is rusty. Man, I used to do this all the time, and now I'm starting to... So, I'm starting to forget. We probably don't want the server running then either. No, not. We'll do this under Linux or WSL. Let me see if I can make this bigger so it shows up on stream. Oh, I couldn't see the window, but it's right here. All right, so SudokuPad, git status, git check out main, git status. All right, so I should just be able to do checkout, commit, and then I should just be able to do merge, right? So I should just be able to do git merge this update core like that. I think that's all I should have to do, right? If we look at that, we have all this stuff coming in, 119 commits. And now main should be up to date. Git status, git push, git fetch all, git pull all, just to make sure we have everything. All right. And we should basically immediately start with another branch. Although before we do that, I did a minor fix earlier today. Let's see if we can just bring that in quickly. I believe it's just in these files. Don't think we'll need to include changelog. All right, let's see. So that should just be... no, we don't need Sudoku HTML. What am I doing? Just this change, basically. Yes. Update core to version 036, yada yada. Okay. That should be all we need in that regard. We're going to keep that open because I might need that again. And I guess we'll start another branch. So we'll do a git checkout. Actually, git branch -ls, I guess. -l. So we'll do a git checkout -b feature slash. Now we have a backup feature. So I think I'll probably yeah, I should have closed that branch. We're just gonna call it SudokuPad backup. It's not super clear in the branch names, but for now, this is what it's gonna be. All right, so we should be on a new branch here. We can publish it. And off we go. And now if something goes wrong and I have to quickly hop back to figure out what's going on, it should be quite trivial. All right. Let me know if audio is good and chat's working, all that stuff. I'm just having a quick look around to make sure I'm not missing anything. All right. Now, the other aspects of this are quite specifically the Cordova plugins I'm using. So, and those are quite the whopper. They're basically the biggest aspect of it, right? And the ones I used or tried to use were, from a while back. So unfortunately, the stuff gets out of date very quickly. Android changes all the time. iOS changes all the time. So I need to figure out, right? Now the deep link stuff, it's for the puzzle import. So we shouldn't have to touch that for this particular thing. It's probably the native storage and the social sharing, maybe? I'm not sure. I might also have removed the plugin that I actually needed for this stuff. So, Cordova plugin native storage. First of all, let's have a look if there's a new version of this. Because I've noticed that these kind of plugins change quickly. There's updates, like, this is quite out of date potentially. Now, if I search for this Cordova plugin native storage, we just search for this on here. Is that still the Coco project? Coco project, yeah, it's the same one. Let's see if there's any issues that are currently open. I feel like this is way too small for the stream. Native storage is not defined. Make React Native. Losing data on iOS. Outdated values after installing. Okay, so it still seems to work. When was this issue report dated? 2 years, 3 years ago. Holy moly. All right, what if I search for Cordova plugin native storage? Something like that. That is still the top one, huh? All right, what if we Google it? If we do Cordova, Android native storage, something like that. Or to be honest, maybe now I should switch to working more focused on iOS, since that is the one that's missing the big update. So these things are still relevant. Are some Cordova plugins. This is a weird one. But that's for React. All right, maybe we don't need that at all. Open this up on my Android phone. The native storage code does not work at all. To be honest, I also should look into getting Android emulate to work again. Although my computer, that's a bit of a struggle because my computer is so old. Hmm. Cordova Android. So that still seems to be the plugin that everybody's sort of recommending and using. Updated. What's going on here? 2017. Holy crap, that's ancient. Same issue here when running the app with Ionic Serve. And on real devices fine, but on simulator sometimes not defined. Huh. Alright, I think the next step for me now is to basically reacquaint myself with the low-level stuff. So we have file storage here. Right, and I don't know if this is supposed to work in the browser environment, let's say. So, I don't know if there's an easy way for me to find out what version of the plugin this is. Version 2.32, well, I guess that's one way of finding out. So if I look at this, what version does it say? 2.32. So we should be up to date. Even though that date is quite a while ago. 5 years ago. So, oh my god, I can't believe this hasn't been forked since. Isn't there... We're crossed down 50,000 now. When? Plugin market. We're sued. Wow, that's not great. Are there tags for this sort of thing? I can't believe there aren't any more modern forks than the Coco Project one. Most recently updated. So hopefully there might be some folks who've since pulled this and kind of updated it for their needs. 7 years ago, 5 years ago, on May 29th. What was that? So this was, you know, maybe it's just fixing a few things that have since come out. Is there a diff between this and the original fork? Yeah, I thought it would say how many commits it's ahead of the original or whatnot. Okay, 3 years ago. Combo Cordova native storage. That's weird. Combo. Using combo.js. Okay, that's something else. Okay. Don't know what that's about. Finish line Ionic native storage. I set item function always returns the wrong callback. I guess what I really need to do here is basically just go into it, look for the basic demo, you know, get that to work again. Always work in your hybrid. Don't assume local storage will always work. Okay, so plugin is great because of the non-persistent property of local storage web view on Android. Okay. Simple, uniform, convenient way of organizing, storing, accessing data. In theory, if it works. All right. Supported platform. All right. Testable. So it's supposed to work on browser and Windows. If it does, that would be pretty great. All right. So let's start up the browser test version, which is, I believe, test browser debug, right? And I believe that should run at the same time on a different port. And my ears itchy. Cheer. All right. I believe it's the 8000 port version. It's probably this one. Is it on 8000? Yeah. All right, so if it works here, we'll find out in a minute. So we should have something like cordova.file, which is undefined. Init file system. File system. If return, yeah, ensure plugin is ready. That's all this. Local file. system is not defined. Now it could be related to one of these. I still need to figure out what that problem is. Let's see how it should work. Native storage. So native storage. So native storage just exists as an object, and I believe in a normal browser window, I'm presuming it won't exist. Okay, so it does exist on browser. Now that looks like a very different interface from what I used to have here. So as a version 2.0, all data types can be stringified, can be stored with set item, get item methods, see stored value. Now let's just quickly verify that local storage, native storage, main handle, it's in browser. I just want to verify that when I talk to native storage, I'm actually talking to this thing here. So Windows, native storage JS, native storage proxy. Okay, so what the hell was this talking to then? Huh, okay. We don't support frameworks, energy code to override supported data types. All data types, storage set item, get item. Native storage, example, initialize bind events. But where does it actually store it? It might also be worthwhile to actually build the demo project here. Plugin test framework, plugin native storage, git. Okay, run the emulate the demo application. All right, where's this demo? For testing the plugin, for clone native storage, clone to repo to a local dir, clone the repo. So this is Gillis C. That sounds different from the Cordova, the Cocoa project. So maybe they just literally just, okay, so this fork just didn't update that. All right, so we actually need to delve into the node modules folder, which I don't want to, but here we are. Sorry about this being a bit small. Don't think I can change that easily. Nope. So Cordova plugin, native storage, and I'm so noisy in my own ears. Examples demo. Now I don't see that here. Are we on a different version here? 2023. Demo can be found at Cordova plugin examples / demo. Cordova examples. Wait. Where's that? I don't see that here. Why am I not seeing this here? Oh, maybe that's not part of the NPM at all. Okay. All right. I'll grab it. I'll play along. Let's actually get another window up. I'll play along with this. No worries. And I think I just lost this. So git clone. Okay. All right. CD Cordova plug in native storage. Git fetch all. Git pull all. All right. Okay, so it already exists. Cordova plugin native storage. Here we go. Examples. Demo. And I think I'm just actually going to open this in another window here. Just gonna open that. Just to be able to browse these files more comfortably. So for example, how is it configured? Doesn't look too crazy, but they always look easy to begin with, and then they kick you in the back. And back wasn't the word I was thinking of here. All right, well, let's see. Configure. I might as well start from scratch because I had so much hassle with this stuff, and it looks like the thing I did has very little to do with this plugin somehow, even though that's what I thought I was using. I don't know exactly what's going on. Or maybe I found this very late and then never quite switched over to it or something. I don't know. Like the plugin whitelist, for example, I don't think that's even relevant anymore. And this is definitely missing a ton of stuff. And in fact, doesn't seem to have anything in here. Okay. All right. Index.js. All right. So what do we got here? Initialize bind events. I think that's similar to what I do. Oh, not really. Okay. Received event device ready. App received event device ready. Virtual listening received. Received event. Okay. So device ready. I do remember something about this event. Let's figure out exactly what it is I remember and what it is that I should be remembering. By the way, guys, if you're like lost of what I'm talking about, just ask in the chat. I'll be happy to elaborate, and it'll help me to keep my thoughts straight as well. To stay on target. All right. We actually want to... maybe I'm not even using... No, okay, we want to look in our source, not in somebody else's. So let's find device ready as an event here. Wait a second, what is this? Cordova.js, where... SudokuPad, Cordova.js. I'm still not sure if that's a proper file or something I stuck in there for testing. But this is basically what I'm talking about. So we are doing a handle device ready, and it's doing a bunch of things here. So we'll do this, just so we know what's going on here. All right, so we have device ready, received event, device ready ID, received event, okay. Okay, so really, we just have this sort of stuff there. All right, I don't even know what to say. This seems, frankly, and I'm gonna hate myself for saying this, but it seems too easy. So I probably shouldn't be saying it. All right, so let's put that little bit of sample code over here. I'm gonna try to move this out of my way in case I don't miss chat messages. So we have native storage, and we'll have stuff like .set, and I'm gonna, you know what, I'm gonna do this in a new JavaScript file. I'm just gonna paste it in the console since what was that? Apparently it should work under the Windows platform, which frankly I find surprising, and it would be so nice that I find it hard to believe. So we'll do it in an async fashion, because it is not 5 years ago. Oh man, this is not gonna go this smooth, is it? Okay, so we'll do something like we'll do a little helper. So we'll do a const ns set async sync, right? And we'll take a key and data, so key data, and it's gonna turn into a promise, right? And it basically just maps it to native storage.set. So we have key, data, resolve, reject, and I reject, right? And that's basically our NSSet, right? And then our NSGet. And for now, we're just going to work with strings. That's fine. Let's have a quick look-a-rooney at what we've got in here. Native storage.get boolean double int item object string. For now, we'll just keep it simple. So we'll have get string, and I'm just looking at the code from the demo here. And in fact, if I can change this to tabs and then change these to 2, I can actually fit a couple in here. And I'm basically just looking at this. So it's basically the same, just without the data key. So super basic API, nothing unexpected. So we just have the key. And we'll get rid of the key here. All right, and now we can do, and let's throw in a sleep function just to help us out. Actually, I think I can just use sleep here, right? Yeah, sleep just exists. Okay, so sleep takes timing and then needs to be called. All right, so we'll just say something like let key equals test key, let data equals test data. Then we'll do await ns set. Actually, let's do we'll wrap it all in a try catch. Like that. Yeah, we'll just do error. And then here we'll do await ns get string key, let res equals, just do let res equals log res, something like that. Then we'll do await, we'll do res await ns set key data, same thing. And before we get started, we might as well output this stuff. Key data. And then we'll do this. And then we'll do this again. And in between here and here, we'll do a sleep 500. Just to make sure the asynchronous of it all is working. Something like that. Let's get rid of one extra line here. All right. So in theory, that should just work, right? Fulfilled undefined. Await async. Returns a promise. So the async here basically implies an await there, or the lack of one. So if I just return a promise here, it doesn't work? So I don't need the async then, because I'm returning a promise, right? I can just do this. Oops, don't want to do that. So I do that, what happens? 2. Key data. Key data. Key data 2. Wait, okay, that's an error. Okay. Now if I do async here and then await there. Resolve, reject. Resolve, reject, resolve, reject. That should work, right? Result, error. Okay. I feel like I'm missing something here. Let us have a quick look-a-rooney here. Get new promise, resolve, reject. Key, get item, resolve, reject. Key. What does get item actually do? It's untyped, right? Success code set storing values. Value get item. Get item. Get item. Reference to value. Okay. This error too is odd. I feel like that's not how this should turn out. All right, maybe I'm running before I'm crawling. let's do just a manual run through of this without these. So do this const let const handle handle res equals res console.log res handle error, right? So then we should be able to do something like get string handle res handle error. So we can just say native get string, something like that. Right? If I do this now, error 2. Wait, what? Where does error 2 come from? Promise. Promise fulfilled undefined, sure. But these don't seem to execute. Ah, wait. Okay, so it fires the error handler. Okay. Handle error 2. Okay, so that just means it's returning an error. Okay. So I'm not really doing anything wrong here. It's just erroring, which is fine. And because I wasn't outputting before... Okay. Let's just do this a little bit more... if I do return here... And we'll do console.warn ns set key data, right? We'll do the same thing here. Ns get string key, and then return. And that should make the logging make more sense, and it would have wasted less of that time. Okay, here we go. Because I didn't pass data in. No. I shouldn't have to. Okay. What if I do this first? Test the data, get string, test data. Okay, so maybe the 2 error code simply means the data doesn't exist. Okay. So if I do get item, it doesn't tell me what the return values are. Supported data types, storing values, retrieving values. Keys, remove, clear, removing all stored variables. Init with suite name. Add groups. Share data between apps. First, suite name must be provided before accessing and retrieving data. Okay. So let's try the get keys thing as well. So we have ns keys, right? So what was how it working? Yeah, ns keys. No argument. Nope. Keys. Okay, so if this is an error return value of 2, I feel like we should probably capture that and say, hey, return undefined or something. Yeah, but for now, this would also do. So we can just reuse these. ns keys, ns keys. Right. That'll do that trick, I believe. Yeah. I'm just checking if their typo detection works. That's all I'm doing here. Okay, so these are the keys. So this looks like that's just pulling out of my local storage. So wait a second. What the hell? Wait a second. What the hell does this do? Aspect step documentation about the API prior to V2 can be found at the wiki. Yeah, the plugin was created. Please consider. So when they talk about compatibility, it just means it's falling back to local storage. Convenient way of organizing, storing, accessing data. Less than persistent, safe data, million sessions. Holds data till application is removed from the device. Small data. Store small amounts of persistent data. See issue number 31. Is there a limit on how... Is there a limit on how much... Yeah, so this is definitely going to be relevant. We're unable to perform write to the disk. I'm unable to do... So it should generate a file. App controller and a platform. Ready, apply, set item. So it's basically a plugin replacement for local storage. Platform, name storage. Object contains source exception problems. If you cut any problems. Own tag can be certain to retrieve safe value when the put set successful method was invoked when using it. Yes, the data should persist until the app has been deleted. This is because the plugin uses shared preferences in Android and as user defaults in iOS. Yeah. Okay, so this kind of sounds a very good next step. It's not the full native file management that I would like to have, but it definitely seems to precisely laser-focusedly address the issue we're having of not persisting our local storage. Chat on Gitter. Okay, can I access the saved value in Android? Check out this or Stack Overflow, this issue on GitHub. All right. Can I access saved values in JavaScript? Cordova 3. Look at this fork. Yes. Does this plugin support Cordova 3.92? And that's a very good question because while I know this is quite old, so it's definitely, my Cordova is probably more recent than that one. And it's 24, not 3.9. No, wait, that's Electron. Cordova is... I should be able to find this out. Cordova is 11. So there's a potential that this just doesn't work at all. Look at this fork. Okay, so I think Cordova plugin native storage 3.9 compatible. Okay, so there's a whole wait, what? What is this? Blobmaster? Is that like a... That doesn't sound like a correct fork. Maybe I can Google this. Okay. So maybe this Jealousy fork is more recent. When does the support update? It can now also be found on 42 commits ahead. So these are the important ones. All right. Is that the changes they've made to make it compatible? Because I might have to do my own fork and then bring these changes in because I want the other ones for sure. It might be worthwhile doing my own fork anyways, to be honest. Let's have a look at some of this other chitter chatter here. How far back it goes. I'm using it to store data offline and trying to sync the server once online, but I need to store the files. And then to online, is it possible with this plugin? Yeah. Well, I think what we need to do is we need to build a bit of a demo environment. I mean, in theory, it would be trivial because I believe there's only one place where I actually use local storage. Okay, that's not true. But it's not too many places. That's also not true. Framework. That's for settings storage. Now, I could change how Framework stores its data. And then Oh, there's more places. Yeah. So the other thing I should consider, I mean, there's two ways of going about it, right? We can touch nothing, let the app itself use local storage, right? And then grab all of local storage, combine it, and store that separately using native storage, which is probably what I should do. The other option is to refactor the app a little bit, because right now I have a storage kind of API in framework. It's just not enforced. But what if I transferred this to actually be used everywhere in the app itself, which makes sense, and then I can sort of hijack that, right? Or more even better, instead of having it in framework, I make this a higher level component that framework uses, and then that component is replaced in the app. But I believe that might be a future refactor. So for now, I think it's best if whenever data is being stored, just basically what I was originally planning to do with the backup tool. Now the problem is I ripped it out of the core code, but there's still a couple of references to it. So it's handle create backup. So probably what I should do is I should create a test button in the menu here or wherever that I can press that basically tests saving and loading data, and then basically build an iOS app, build an Android app, and then see, okay, like do an update so that it does get wiped, and then use that button to check if the data is there with this other system, right? So basically, okay, all right, let's do that, right? So let's see where this menu is defined, which is probably in content, home, right? So we'll have this here, and we'll have import puzzle, create puzzle, yada, 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 right? So basically, if I do something like this, and I'll do test backup, and we'll call it test backup, right? And then we'll do test restore, test restore, right? And then we'll implement these, and we'll test backup, and then handle test restore, right? I'll do something like this. Right, and we'll probably got to do all this whole back page bollocking here to make sure this is all running smoothly and doesn't mess with the current location. And that's really something I need to improve, how that gets handled in the future. But basically something like this, right? And I probably have to refresh a couple of times, right? And if I do test backup, test restore, we get these. And then in here, I basically push some random gibberish data into native storage and pull it out again. Right. So yeah, let's see. We can probably bring that over here. Now I feel like I should kind of, you know what? I'm just gonna put a bunch of stuff in here. Testing native storage plugin. Just so in the future I'm not confused what this is. And I can put a bunch of little things in here. I don't have to worry too much about making things super clean and tidy. So we'll put these up here, right? And then on top of these, I think there was also a remove. A remove. There was a remove. What we have, remove. All right, we'll have an ns remove. And a set, and we'll do an ns remove. I don't know why I picked that accent now. And don't put data in here. Right. Remove key. And then since we're here, we're actually gonna do this even nicer. JSON.stringify data, boom. I'll just do a $s here, $s here, stringify key, key, $s, $s. All right. Now, the one thing I don't know is what the get item stuff is all about. So if I look at the local storage API docs, I have a suspicion this is basically just designed to follow the local storage API. Yes, no. Do we have get item? Set item, clear. There's a clear, but then there is a... It wasn't set item, was it? It was... There's a set item, keys. Set item. What are the type things for? Maybe they are just for the, you know, maybe they work differently on iOS and Android, which wouldn't necessarily be great. Achieving values. Get item. Achieving values, storing values, set item. Can I just use get item instead of set string? Where did I even see the set string? I'm not seeing it here. Find set string. That's not even here. I saw that in the demo. That's already worrying a little bit. Is there a more comprehensive scientific articles? Why is there a scientific article? Did they... why is the download back here? Geez. Okay. Is that the article? This is data storage use a mobile cross-platform tool, Cordova. Oh, Jesus Christ. Native storage. Boom. Plugin. Important implementation of using HTML APIs and data local storage data contained. So maybe they actually analyzed where it goes. Sorry, what is the scientific research here? Abstract, the mobile fragment, yada yada yada. This paper analyzes the impact of this abstraction layer using data storage case study. Both the performance overhead and API coverage is discussed. Based on the analysis, an extension of cross-platform storage APIs is proposed and implemented. Okay. An important limitation, store data. Data storage, integrated limitation requirements. The current plugins listed before. Now, what I don't know is what kind of like OS/system level things it needs to run. For storing, please consider trying to database. Yeah, web scale. Storing and retrieving files can be done by means of the file plugin. Yeah, so that's the thing I feel like I've been working on implementing. And why did I not come across that before when we kind of reviewed all of that? It would not be here. It would be in package.json, right? So plugin, I probably removed it. Now the question is how old this is. 10 years ago. Okay, like this license. Last year. Yesterday was the most recent commit, but a documentation update. With the introduction of scope storage, access to extensions of unreliable or limited by file APIs. Scope storage was introduced in API 29. While existing apps have the ability to opt out, this option is not available for new apps. On Android API 30 and later, scope storage is fully enforced. API 30 is which allowed limited access to external using file APIs, allowing the plugin to partially work again. Okay, so this is bad. Only applies to external file systems. Internal file systems file update directory path are not imposed by these limitations. If any of these external file systems is a requirement for your application. So this was really just because I remember working on this and setting up a way of kind of like having in the app, like backup, press the button, backup data, and then it'll give you the file chooser thing. But apparently, you know, you need all sorts of permissions and it's all super crazy. I don't know why Android, I can't just hand over the file to Android and say, hey, Android, you and the user figure out where you want this file. You know, that seems to me the obvious thing that then doesn't have any permissions, problems, or risks or whatnot. 3 months ago, 1.012. Let's have a look at this one. Media storage. Read and save files using storage access framework and media store. This plugin allows you to read and save files using storage access framework and media storage on Android only. So I don't want to have to build separate things. All right. Focus. Let's create our little test scenario here. Let's see what happens if we do a test restore. So if I do something like let, and we'll need to do the try catch, right? Catch error. And basically all I really want is, and now that I'm saying it, maybe we'll actually make a little dialogue and then we operate everything from within the dialogue. So if we do something like test backup restore here, right? And then we're actually, instead of having two buttons here, we'll just have one button. Test backup. Where are the buttons? Here. Get rid of that. We get rid of that. We'll move this up here. Right. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. And then we'll open a dialog here. Right. Get rid of these things. Basically just have a bunch of buttons then. Okay. Test backup. Test restore. And then here we'll basically just put a little window, for lack of better terminology. So we'll have a div, and we'll just give it an ID. ID, we'll call it test backup output. And then we'll have a little label here. Label, yeah, content, output, right? And then we'll have a little handle button here. Handle button. Something like that. Right. And then we can just do this here. And handle button. Button. Something like that. And do that here. But for now, we're gonna hide that. And if we, and I'm gonna run that here quickly because this is faster. I don't have to wait for the whole server to restart. Except it's not working at all. Because I stopped it. I don't know why I stopped it. Anyway, by now this one will have refreshed. The reason is the browser thing just takes a while to refresh. So we have test backup, gets up as a dialog, has a bit of an output thing here. We probably want to give this like something like border 1px solid gray and min height 3 rem, something like that. And then we'll do pressed I think auto close false, right? Find auto close false. So if we do auto close false, bring that up here. Boom. Yeah. See, this one hadn't refreshed yet. Okay. And we'll probably wanna have padding 1 rem. Just back up. Boom. And just back up. Margin. Yeah, nope. Yes, test backup. Okay, so that gets us the buttons. And we'll do switch button case test backup const test backup async. Boom. Test backup. That. Oh, yeah. Break here. Case test restore. Test store. Test. Test restore. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's do that. Nope. Save here, refresh here. Test backup, test restore, test backup. Okay. And then this goes in here. Console.error. Error. Keep it simple. Keep it small. Let's make this a one-liner because we're just going to copy this a couple of times and it's just for testing. I don't want to have to scroll up and down just to see it. Okay. So, under test backup, we're going to do an await, let res equals await ns get string, ns gets, not get string. Change this to, so there should be a get item, native storage dot get native storage. Oh yeah, so that won't exist here. Native storage dot get item. Boom. Okay, so we're just gonna do get item. I don't know how the typing will work. We'll find out. Get item. Right. So it'll be ns get item. Right. And here we'll do something like const, or I'm going to use a let here because test key equals native storage test key. We'll call it that, right? We'll do that. And then console log res. Well, I'll put the result. Right. And we'll do basically a similar thing on the restore test data. Native storage test data. Right. And then we'll do type of res json.stringify res. We'll do all three. And then here, instead of get item, we'll do, now is it set or set item? Set item. Set secret item? What does that might mean? Set secret item. Let me see. We have the source here, right? So I can potentially just search here. Set item. Set item. Like, I wonder what the difference is between set and set item, basically. Set item. And then find set secret. Set secret item. Isn't that what we found here? Dot set. Dot set secret item. So that definitely exists. Huh. Ah, but maybe not under examples. Find in folder, set secret item. Here we go. Storage handle, native storage set after secret value, some secret text. So I'm guessing the only difference is that it doesn't show up in these. Object strings, native storage error. JS, now reference, JSON error. Native storage error. Dot object dot values native storage error. Native storage error is not defined. Here. It is not defined. Am I here on the look? No, that exists. Native storage error. Storage support. Browser phone yada yada yada. Native storage error. And where are we looking here? Main handle, native storage error. Native storage error. Native storage error. Let's translate those. Native storage error. Const. I do this, right? Then I'll refresh this. And this should exist, right? Nope. I refresh this. Does it exist here? All right. And if I do object.values, native storage error, object.entries. All right. And then I'll do a find. Dot find. And I equals 2, say, and then I'll return the first element. I get the error message. Okay, so then we can do something about these errors. Error. So if the error is just a number, which I believe is what happened here. Error. So if we do type of error, and then we'll do this, and to deal with undefined or boom, we'll just do that. Right. Okie dokie. And that should now refresh in the background. Get item, get item. Yes, now that's what we need to actually set. So in a set item, test key, test data. Okay, so this should now refresh and eventually should be able to do this, test backup, native storage error, object, native storage error, code to source native. Okay, undefined. Okay, so if we turn error, we'll do error.code, like that. And I'll do this, and then that. Native storage is not defined, okay. We'll do that here. Test backup, null reference. Okay. Okay, we'll probably want to do this here. Like that. And then we can do this here as well. And if I do test restore, and I think I might have reversed them. Yeah, set is on restore when it should be under backup. And the restore should be the get test, get item. And wait, native storage dot get item. So we have get item. There's a little bit of a discrepancy of what I'm seeing. And so we have get item and we have set item. Yes, we were trying to figure out what the difference is between set item and just set. Right? Set item with passwords. So this is testing each set item. So for example, somewhere here, something like set item, get item, put string, get int, get double. I don't even see just a pure get or set. Native storage. So this one is under SRC, Windows, iOS, Android. Okay, so under Windows, it falls back. Set item, get item, password credentials, vault, security credentials. So there's a Windows object, Windows.set. Windows is not defined. Windows is not defined. Windows is not defined. Windows is not defined. Interesting. Because we're not really in the Windows thingamajig. We're in the browser thingamajig here. So one question I have, for example, is how does it pick what file name to store it under if it's actually using a file name, right? It's not using a file, it's using shared preferences on Android. Man, I wish I knew more about Android and iOS programming. And then I'm guessing it uses something similar. Why did I feel like I have not come across this, which seems so strange. I don't recall any of this from when I was working on this. I don't know. And it could be that I spent a couple of weeks trying this and then wanted to do the file stuff after all. I don't know. Maybe there was some reason why this stuff wasn't working. Very possible. All right. Let's just try get item set item, run the test, build it for iOS and Android and see what happens. I guess that's where we're at. All right. So ns set item. I'm going to change this to set item. And then even this to set item. Okay. And then I don't know which of these will refresh. So if I do this, test backup. Need distortion. Okay, so it's got to be this one. Test backup, string, test restore, test data, string, need to storage, test data. All right. And then we'll want to do a test remove. And none of these are direct primary. Just remove these. So we'll have a test remove. Right. Because the test remove obviously lets us then check that after the remove, the other things still work as expected. So ns remove, and then we have our results. All right. And then we'll basically want to put things into this output log, right? Now the output log, now I'm realizing also needs to kind of scroll because we can't just make it infinitely large. Overflow y scroll. And then we'll have min height 3 RAM and we'll have max height, I don't know, 15 RAM. And then we'll probably have a clear log button. We'll have clear log, right? Clear log. And then here we'll just do, so we have this. So we should be able to do document.query select or hash this dot inner text, inner HTML. Boom. All right. So we should be able to do something like clear log equals that. And then here we'll just do query selector inner HTML and we'll just do a plus equals something paragraph, a div with a \n at the end, and then in here we'll just put something like ns remove. I'm gonna make this just a little bigger. Gonna be a bunch of stuff in here. JSON.stringify, yeah, like that. And then we'll just put in JSON.stringify res. Right. And under error here, we'll also do that. And maybe we'll make a little function up here. Const log. I'll just do this like that. And this is just going to be the text. Text. Right. So then here we'll just do log. Boom. That. And we'll do ns get item with the result. And we'll do ns set item with the test data. Like that. And then we want to do outputting of errors as well. So ns remove. Yeah, do we want these as... Yeah, we can do this. We'll probably want to do that. And we'll probably do something like const log error equals func equals func error. And we'll do a log res func, whoops, res, and it's basically going to be this here. So that'll be the function name. Func args res, and then here we'll just do args.map a json.stringify a. Ooh, notice these. Ooh, excuse me. And then we'll join them up like that. And then the results. And then for error, log error. And no, I'm gonna mute. Excuse me. I was thinking of using color, but I really can't be arsed. So what we're gonna do is this res and this error. And we'll do the same thing. And then put error here and error here. But instead of that, we'll actually do this little ditty here. I'm just gonna do that. Right. All right, and now we gotta do a log res and a set item. Our arguments are test key and test data for set item, yes. And then we have a result like that, and that should log them out. And then for get item, similarly, but with just that. And for remove, similarly again, but like that. And then we'll have log error here, log error. And then it's basically we want to replicate this, but with log error, like that. Oop. And error here. And I think I'm going to just leave that out. We can plug that into here afterwards. Doesn't make sense to double log it when we're going through all the hassle already. So we get rid of that. We'll put that in here and in here. Change this to ns get item and ns set item, and add the second argument here. That's our error handling. Log res, remove, get item, set item, remove that. And that should all be a lot cleaner and simpler. So if we go back here, Log error. Yes, that's terrible. We can get a preview there, but we really have to wait for this to refresh properly. Test backup. Test restore. Test key native storage. Result. Test restore. Test remove. Result undefined. Test remove undefined. Test restore. Null reference. Test backup. Test backup. Test restore. Test remove. Test restore. So that's what I want to test. When we do a remove, afterwards we get the null reference. And we have a clear log. All right. Now we can go a little bit fancier. We can basically do an input for the data and the key, which I think is worth doing because I'm sure I'm going to do all these builds and then I'm going to find something and I'm going to have to redo them all because of that. So we basically want to do something like key. And then should I just do children like that? And then we'll have tag input, something like that. Now that's the sort of stuff we should be able to test here. Unexpected token. Test backup key. All right. Then we should be able to do something like value test key. And then we'll do ID NS test key. Okay, that's the native storage test key. And then we'll do something similar. Content value or data. And we'll do NS test data. Test data. Right? Test backup. Okay. Yada, yada, yada. Test backup. Now, here we're going to change that to retrieving the keys and the data. So we'll add a little function, const get key. And it'll just gonna be this thing with the query selector. So we'll do this. Query selector hash dot value. And we'll do the same thing with get data. Value. Right. And now instead of this, we're gonna do something like this. Let key equals get key, data equals get data. And we're just gonna put these here, here, and here. And then we'll just put key here, 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 and here. And here, and here, and here. And data goes here, and here, and here. And key goes here, and here. And now test key and test data shouldn't be there anymore. And in fact, I'm going to get rid of them just to avoid future confusion. Or, nah, we'll leave them. We'll leave them. That's fine. Okay. So now I can go in here. I can say test backup, error undefined, test native storage test data, key data, error undefined. Error is undefined. All right, let's add our full-on loggy thing here that I mentioned earlier. So since we've kind of centralized all of this, we can now basically restore what we had earlier. Console.log. Just undo this. We'll do func func. Res like that, and then we'll do type of res and JSON.stringify res, in case, you know, in case we ever get weird data, weird objects and so on and so forth in and out of there. And we'll do the same thing. We can probably actually kind of do this. Something like that. And actually, you know what? You know what? I'm just gonna do this. Let my brain sort it out later. We'll do the same thing. Log error. Like that. So if I click, oh yeah, it won't work here. So it might work here. Test backup. Test backup. Need to storage. Test restore. Test remove. Test restore. Res is not defined. It's error. And args. Error. And we'll do something like, we'll turn this into function as well. It's kind of the least we can do. Least we can do. Const error to str. I think that's all there is to it, really. Right? And once again, I'm going to do this. Error to str. Error. Like that. All right, and now I think this native storage error shouldn't exist anywhere else. Okay. Starting to get more and more organized. Test backup, test restore. We get an error with a null ref, but here it gets us more details potentially. Test restore, test backup. Yeah, clear log, test restore, test key 2, test restore, test backup, test restore, test restore, test backup, test restore, test restore, test restore. So now we can retrieve 2 different things here. And then finally, we might as well add clear. Hey, no, let's not add clear, because if this also clears the local storage, if it's kind of cross-connected, then that's gonna hurt a lot, especially during testing, where I'm gonna be doing this all the time. All right, so keys. Test, remove, test, keys. And I think I'm going to change the syntax there to, where's our function call? Up here. So we'll just do test. No, I'm not going to do that because I just realized I'd have to transfer the button thingamajigs over here because I was going to say test native storage.backup, etc. And no, it's not worth it. So we'll have keys, test 1, 2, 3, 4, test keys, test keys. Then we'll do test keys, NSF, NS, what's that called? NS keys, test keys, NS keys, no argument, NS keys, no argument. Don't need these for this one. Man, I almost feel I can wrap all of this up as well, because these functions are so repetitive. So we basically can do something like get test func equals to func args, right? Sync func args. So we'll basically need this thing. Then we'll pass in the function name here. We'll call the function name here, although that's a little trickier. Well, we basically just want something like const test ns equals boom, and then we'll just put these here. Boom. 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 Right? I think that'll do the trick. That'll translate them. So guys, see you later. What time is it? 8. 9:30, right? Alright, see you then. Bye guys. Alright, so that should translate the function name to from a string to an actual function. And then we'll just bring the arguments in here, like that. We'll bring them in here. We'll bring the func in here, and the args in here. And that should be it. So from now we don't need to do. Oh, and then we'll can do what? We can do test func args, and then we'll just do func args like that. So then we can write, instead of test backup, we can just do test func, and then we'll put the string ns set item here. And then even this stuff can just be done once here. We can do this. We'll do ns set item. And then we'll just do key data like that. And then test func for restore is get item. ns get item to be more accurate. And the arguments are just key. And that arguments is going to be used a couple of places for remove. And it's remove. And finally, ns keys. Test func. And then I can remove all of these. Boom. And that's all that code gone. We're back to something that seems a little saner to me. Okay, so we have get key, get value. They're only used once now. We're logging these things. This is not duplicated. Maybe it's a little bit too systematic, but that's all right. Oop. All right. And let's see. So, test keys. Args is not iterable. Test keys. Okay, the args needs to be an array. So, test func here. We'll do this. And that should work, I believe. Test restore. Yeah. So, test backup. Test backup, test restore, test remove, restore, null reference, backup, restore. So that's the output. Test keys. Okie dokie. Clear log. Test backup, test restore. Now we can do the whole thing with test backup, test restore. We'll change that. Test restore. We get the other data, and we get very busy logs down here. The whole handle button we can probably do without. Test func we probably can do without, or at least without the warn. That can just be a log, right? And then the ns_get_item. These are these up here. We probably can do without these now, because we're handling it down there. Right, and then these can be a lot more compact. Yeah, I don't want to have a ton of weird code just for this little simple test. And ns keys. Boom. There we go. Okay. Clearing logs. And we have these two data entries. And I think they can be fairly large. Like, yeah, we can put big thing. Now it's just string storage, but that should be fine. So basically, that should be enough to test this sort of thing. We need to figure out why this is failing. Universal links. Okay, let's clean this up first before we dive further. Let's see if we can get rid of that. Yeah, we don't need that anymore, because universal links comes from this plugin that I use for the thing, which doesn't work very well either. But I'd like to know why this exec proxy not found for error comes up. Now, it could be that it's just an error with the browser plugin, that the browser thing is just not... Oh. Maybe because it's not HTTPS. I really need to sort something like that out as well for my local thing. Speaking of which, didn't I get... One sec. I'm just recalling another email about certificates expiring. When was the last email about that? 19 days on the 6th. Okay, still have time, but that's suddenly really important. I'm gonna put that down here. Nice to have to do update certs. I'm gonna put that above all the other stuff so I don't forget again, because that slipped my mind. That's something I've been meaning to do the last couple of days. Okay, I think we can ignore this for a sec here. Let us proceed with doing a build. SudokuPad. We should be able to just do a Android debug build. So we should just do it. And we'll run build Android debug. And we should also be able to do a Windows debug build, because this should also work for Windows, right? That's what they've been saying. It supports supported platforms, Android, iOS browser, Windows, and the browser platform. It would actually be interesting to know where in the browser platform the data goes. So I don't see the browser platform be present here. How does it work on the browser platform? Shouldn't it need a folder for each of these? It is possible that Android, iOS, Windows, browser. Maybe it's handling it in just the basic code. If is in browser. In browser. Cordova plugin platform ID browser. So I'm guessing this is a thing. Yeah, I need to learn so much more about this. So here's browser. Here probably it isn't. Oh, it is as well, even though that's not running through Cordova at all. Okay. PhoneGap window.code in browser. False. In browser. Is that being changed anywhere? If in browser. In browser. Find in browser equal. In browser equal. Ah, okay, is it in browser? And then it returns in browser. And then where else is the in browser being used? Serial orchestration, remove item success, clear storage, alert delicate. Storage support analyze. Okay. Alert resources supported. Ah, okay. Maybe we can output this stuff as well. So under native storage, storage, which doesn't exist here. Under native storage, we have storage support. All right. What else is there? Anything else? No. So that's probably something we should have as part of our little test environment here. In fact, we can just output this to begin with, right? So if I click here, it can just output that in here. Right. Probably just do that, like that. And then content, div, \n, and then we'll just put into here new storage support, and we'll just do this, something like that. And if I click on this, it will be here. Okay, inner HTML. Yeah. Now that obviously would be interesting to have in the build, but let's see what we've got. Okay, so let me get my test device. Okay. So on the test device, we should be able to now see. We should be able to deploy, first of all, this build. So there should be npm run adb test debug. So that should deploy it to here. And I should be able to see that here as well. Might take a moment. Performing stream to install. Okay, I'm seeing it pop up on the phone. Bada bing, bada boom. Let us see if... Okay, I see the test backups option. Let me see if I can bring it up here. Oh, there it was, and I press refresh. Arc. All right, here we go. I can inspect that. And... Okay. Test keys. No keys. Test restore. Error. Okay. Test backup. Test restore. Now we have that stuff. Test key. We have that one key. Now if I put a 2 here and a 2 here, and we'll test backup again. Now, that's that. Test keys. Okay, we have test key that and that. Okay. So now if I go back to test key 1 and then say test restore, we get that. We need to clear the log. Test restore. Test key 2. Test restore. All right. Now, what is hard to test here is if it survives. Well, what we can test is I can do a full uninstall, right? So we can do an we'll do a npm run adb uninstall, and that should just remove the app. So now the question is the data still there? Well, npm run adb install debug. And adb start. Okay. Now, I don't think this will be able to reconnect because it's a different app now. Yeah, that's not gonna work. But it'll come up here in a minute. I never figured out why that takes so long, but I don't know. I'm sure they have their reasons. Now, if I go here, test keys, no keys. So it doesn't survive a full-on uninstall. And that's a problem. It's expected, but it is a problem because it means I can't test how I thought I'd be able to test. So, Android usage, supported data type. So we could go back to that research paper here, right? So an important, okay, this is small even for me. I'm gonna make it a bit bigger. So an important limitation of the HTML API is that both the cache of the web views can be cleared when, for instance, systems low memory. This section presents what does it say? Coarse-grained API, fine-grained API, put, get, remove, set item, get item, remove. How is put, get more fine-grained than set item, get? All right. Reference to value. All right, the plugin consists two sets of a fine-grained and coarse-grained API, which are both asynchronous and non-blocking. The coarse-grained API provides a type-independent interface. Variables are automatically converted to JSON object via the JSON interface provided by the web view and passed as string variables to the native site. When values retrieved, the web view is used to convert the string back to an object. Fine-grained API provides a separate implementation for the different JavaScript types. On the native side, the variables are stored via shared preferences in Android and NS user defaults in iOS. So shared preferences in Android. Android, shared preferences, backup, restore. So another thing I'd like to test is, can I find where this is on Android from the outside of the app, right? Prefs display, shared preferences, backup helper. My code does not work and I do not know what is the mistake. Okay. Problem is this is all native and I'm not exactly conversant in native Android stuff. Application Android label, backup agent. Your backup agent class for sure should be something like this. Press backup key, uncreate. You must request a cloud backup. Done async with something like this. Backup manager. Backup manager. What if we look this up? Cordova Cloud Backup. It would be nice if this could be done without support from within my app. Cloud settings. Cordova Cloud Settings plugin. Cordova plugin for learning to persist user settings in cloud storage across the... I hadn't even thought of that. Yeah, maybe instead of going to native storage, I'll go one step further and do something that does that plus cloud stuff with those same... You know, I can pretend these are settings. That's kind of what I'm doing on the web app, really. I'm basically just treating all the puzzle progress, etc., as if it's just app settings, right? And does it loop? It does seem to be looping. Are we still streaming? I believe we still are. Good, good, good. All right, so the plugin uses Android's data backup service to store settings in a file. Uses iCloud to store settings, especially the NS ubiquitous key value class to store settings. Supports yada yada yada. Is published as npm kernel. Typical lifecycle. User installs your app for the first time. App starts. Calls exist. Sees if it has no existing settings. User uses your app. Generates settings. App calls save to cloud. Further use. The problem is I don't know if I need the user to sign in then. And obviously this is not cross-platform. This app calls load and access API. Plugins JS is on plugin cloud settings. Yada yada. Cloud backup. Deep JSON structure, and the plugin will store merge it with an existing one. But make sure the structure will stringify. Yeah, okay. May not happen immediately on Android iOS, but occurs when the next scheduled backup takes place. JSON structure presenting user settings to class. This is very interesting. I'm just kind of scared to look at the dates and see how far it is out of date and how much of it is broken by now. Oh, my nose is tickling like a crazy. 2 years ago, that's not that bad actually compared to some of the other stuff. And it's a fork, which means somebody's already maintaining this more than the original fork. Remove API. Huh. Makes sense, right? Remove API. I'd like to give an option for users to completely remove their cloud data if they choose to do so. Right now, they're just in the way to completely remove the data. Just set it to empty, which is not quite the same. Setting can be a shift, so simply calling save. But a remove alias for this could be added sometime in the future. That's fine then. Given you added the label to this, feel free to close it. Yeah, okay. Check if enabled. How do I check if the user has app backup function enabled or disabled for the device settings? Go into settings, backup to Google Drive, and turn it off. And there's a way to do this. Native for Android and a possible way for iOS. I'll investigate and plugin if it works. 2019. I don't think that's probably has been done. One commit behind. Untested, my download, I was only able to successfully backup once. Okay, therefore I propagated to the backup transport agent in my testing device. Upon contract for restore, I would always get my initial data packet. If this is an issue with my device, app or Android, still unknown to me. So Curly uses this plugin. So they built a plugin and they never got it to work. That is not a good thing, is it? Let's fork from this one and down the rabbit hole we go. What's the latest update on this one? No open issues. I have a feeling. That is not entirely true. Test result, your plugin works fine. Good to know. Tested your plugin. Next 6P running. My god. Shell BGMR. That is interesting. Can I use that to test this? Ooh, okay. That is very interesting. Let's see. Test. Backup and restore. How testing? Okay. If I run this here. Hey, Thomas Miles, how are you doing? Not sure what the yes is in reference to. If there's something you know, you want to let me know, please let me know. Test background manager run. Don't know what that actually does. Okay, test logcat. Yeah, we probably need to run that too. ADB shell logcat. Ooh, okay. Maybe. Ooh, okay. Wait a second. Backup should not supported by SDK. Wait a second. We'll do something like. No, not like this. Do something like this. And do a ADB shell BGMR run. And shell BMGR run. Does that do something in the log? Okay, did a bunch of things. Backup manager scheduling. Backup account not found in GM score unsupported. Should not crypt. GMS backup account manager. Backup account not found in GM score. That's definitely something maybe that we can get to work. Shows that enter backup manager on Android devices. It does not work for encrypted backups. Should both auto backup. Full backup package. I'm guessing package would be codes.sudokupad. Maybe. Ooh. It closed the app. That is interesting. Connection refused. All right, let's give that thing a try. What I'm not sure is how far back it goes. So 8 years ago, last commit 2018. Root over plugin cloud settings plugin. Root over plugin cloud settings. Root over plugin cloud settings. I kind of want to search for that and see if there's like a more root over plugin. Root over plugin cloud. I don't know why it doesn't find all of them, to be honest. Because it doesn't. It just groups all the forks, I'm guessing. Uh-oh. Okay, 5 days ago, sending a push, plugin Firebase X. Go over app preferences. Go over plugin Google Maps, app preferences. Pull requests, plugin Kanban tool. All right. This was the cloud settings thing, right? Data backup. How did I get to that? Over plugin cloud settings. Is that the most recent one that I'm looking at here? This is DPA 99C. Okay, it's the same thing. All right, so we know about this one. Over plugin cloud settings. Store queue. Okay. Issues 2. Anything else in here? Conflict trying to modify attributes with edit config plugin, yada yada yada. Patch version, how much max limit? JSON data. File reader for capacitor. So let's also fix this. That's actually good. It's 1 megabyte per user per app. 1 megabyte. That is not a lot. That is actually not a lot at all. That is another thing we should kind of look into is like, how big is the data that we want to store? Because what we really want to store is, let's go back here, is all of progress plus all of the puzzles plus the app settings. The app settings are the least of it all. So let's have a quick look. I believe backup.js is probably the place where I've kind of pulled all of this together prior. So let's do this. List backups, get backup path, save backup, load backup from file, create autosave. Autosave in progress, save backup to file. So save backup to file, get backup path, save backup to path file, save backup to path file, write to file path, get backup data. So get backup data is, I'm guessing, oh, it did all of local storage. Okay. Well, let's make this a function so we can kind of see what that looks like. So something up here, we might want to say something like const local storage to JSON. Right, and I don't think these are asynchronous. So basically do this here, right? And then do this. And then we'll just say, we'll just do something like this. Let data equals So we'll do this as well, because I have a feeling this might not be absolutely trivial here. And the problem is we're kind of going to be flying blind. So we're going to have to build this, prepare it, build it for iOS and Android, and then test it on device. Otherwise, it's very hard to get, like, to figure out what the real effects are. Data dot length, type of data, and then I'm just gonna output data directly as well. Type of data dot length. You know what? Let's be thorough, because that's the other thing, right? That one small mistake and you have to go through the whole process of building and putting it on the device and all that stuff again. So even just testing locally, the fact that I have to wait for this stupid refresh here of the browser platform is already a problem, right? So data length is, yeah, you see it's already over a megabyte here. There are ways of reducing the size of the data though. And there's a couple of ways. And the most radical obviously being sorting by date and getting rid of the oldest ones, right? But probably uncompressing all of it, all the individual bits of data, and then recompressing them all together probably will help. And right now there's like so many nestings of JSON alone. So we're gonna want to get some additional information here. And it outputs that as JSON string. So get local storage. If we do this without the toJSON part here, and then you're just gonna return data here, right? And then we can do something like this. ls data. We'll do this. What was the timing on that? 4 milliseconds. All right, so the time is not going to be an issue. So we'll do that and that. And then we're going to output the data as well. See if that's refreshed already. Local storage to JSON, get local storage. Local storage to JSON. Okay, I must have gotten it before I changed it in one place and the other. So lsdata.length, lsdata, object keys dot length. So this is also part of this. It's kind of doing just a little bit of investigation of work. The problem is I don't know if my local, especially the Windows version I have here, if that's representative of what the average user has, because average users might have been using it much more than I have in testing. Like, only 32 keys. Why is that so big? That's insane. Oh. Because there's a 1.1 megabyte application data key. Shoot. I need to figure out what the application data stuff is. Is that a clone of everything? I don't remember right now. Oh, come on. No. Application data, come on. Can I just take that? All. Nope. All. No, I want to take this and then search for this. There we go. Okay, storage prefix in app.js. Application data storage key. Where is that being used? The storage key is being used. Yeah, I doubled up on the keyword. That's also terrible. Local storage get key raw data. And then what do we do with if raw data is null? Else we'll execute load data. Wow, it does the get item twice here. That seems terrible. Get item. So that is the puzzles themselves, but not necessarily the progress. Right. So if we look at app.local data, that should have what in it? Puzzles. Okay. So I think we're gonna also want to provide a little bit of stats of how big everything is and yada yada. And this little test page, it might actually make itself into a hidden menu item somewhere. So I can put it into a release, or at least in here into a test version of the app and send it to somebody and have them answer some questions about their stuff. Potentially. Unless it wipes their stuff, then doesn't answer any questions. Well, that's annoying. Let's try So let app data equals app.local data. And then we can do a few other answers here. Console.log app data size app data. Right, now JSON.stringify app data dot length. We can also do app data dot puzzles dot length. I mean, I see it now, it's 377, but like I said, this might have to go onto other places. And we'll probably want to know the length of these data packages, right? Because each of these puzzles here is complex-ish data. It includes the puzzle data, a state, progress state. I don't even know what data format that is. This is the puzzle state here. Looks like replay actions. Is that a replay or is that... If I take this, can I take this? How long is this? Because it said, oh no, okay. It says how many actions there are, but then it's just an encoding of the puzzle itself. 377, 1.2 megabytes. How does that divide? 3K. Yeah, that sounds about right. 1 kilobyte is not enough. Now, the other thing that's been bouncing around my head for a while is now, if I can retroactively turn all of these into short IDs using the API, then I don't actually need to store the puzzles. It'd be good to cache them, but for the cloud backups, I don't need to store the puzzles. I can store them on our server because it's shared data, right? All right, well, let's get a few extra stats going here. We'll do, what do we do? Min, max, average, I guess. Let min equals 0, max equals whatever. 9e10, average equals 0, CNT equals 0. Right. And then we'll just do apt visuals. And then tote equals 0. Apt puzzles for each. Puzz. And we'll just do a JSON equals puzz JSON.stringify puzz. And then we'll do tot plus equals JSON.size CNT plus plus. We'll do CNT plus plus first. Total, we increment min equals math dot, and here we do it the reverse, 0, yada yada yada, math dot max min JSON JSON size equals JSON dot length size. We want the larger of the two for our the smaller of the two. Minimum is very large, size is smaller, minimum got smaller. And then for max, it's the other way around. Max, max. Total just gets incremented, count gets incremented, and then average equals tote divided by CNT, the math.co. Boom. Right, and then we're going to console log CNT slash tote slash min slash max slash average. Alright, we'll just do this like that, like that, like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. Right. And that should get us a bunch of data. Stringify. If I frickin' learn to spell. All right. Now, what else would we... Now, this obviously we actually also do want to put in that log thing. Okay. Stringify. God damn it. Didn't I save that? I thought I just saved it already. Or maybe the stringify was from a different place in the code. Okay, okay, here we go. So, we have local storage data is 32. App data size 970,000, of which we have 377 puzzles, 970,000 total size. Minimum is 1,400, maximum is 4,600, average is 2,500. So it just works out that way, doesn't it? You got 377 puzzles of 2.5 kilobytes. It adds up to more than a megabyte. And I think they are, by and large, already compressed, right? Yeah, so compressing them again isn't going to do anything. God damn it. Now, uncompressing them all and then recompressing them as a singular thing, that might do the trick. The problem is I might be working out a limitation that I don't fully understand, right? So these backup systems, excuse me, key value bearer, backup user data, about backup. Select which data to back up. User generate a lot of data when using your apps. Take care to back up the appropriate data. Only backing up some of the data can frustrate users when they open the app on a new device and discover something missing. The important data to back up here. 1 megabyte, is that really enough? Is that really enough? I mean, the replay data we might be able to do without, as long as we store the kind of the final state of each replay, which is tricky enough as it is. 2 ways for auto backup, which is available on Android device 6 and higher. We upload users who drive to the auto backup includes files in most of the directories that are assigned to your app in the system. Auto backup up to 25 for file-based managed data backup. The key value backup feature, formerly known as backup API, and the Android backup. Generally, we recommend auto backup because it's enabled by default and requires no work to implement. Apps that target. So just putting it into a file might be enough. Which now we're back to dealing with the file APIs, of course. Backup data stored in Android backup servers limited to 5 megabytes per hour. Now 5 megabytes is actually pretty decent. So if it's 5 megabytes, this could be good enough. All right, let's add this to our little test dialog here. So, and we probably want to do a similar thing to the local storage thing here. So, we'll do a little function. Const get size, get JSON stats. And we just want an array like this, right? And then we want to loop through the array, something like that, right? Array, item, and then we're going to return these as an array or as an object even, something like that. Right? So we should be able to do something like get JSON stats, boom, and then just feed this thing here in. And that should be it. And then we should be able to do the same thing on the local storage keys, maybe excluding the one because that's going to skew it. Although we'll still be able to figure out what's going on there, more or less. Yeah, so we can just do appdata.puzzles like that. Can get rid of all that. Boom. Don't even let that. And the size It's just more or less what the total says. So we can get rid of that too. And maybe we can even do this now. Like that. Right. And we basically can do the same thing for get local storage. If I do this. And then we can basically get rid of all of this. And then this is basically just a very simple low-level function. I can just stick it here next to this one. See what happens. And then this we can also turn into something we can output on the output log here. Object.values. Boom. And we probably wanna be verbose here, so later on I don't wonder what the heck's going on here. Alright. If I refresh this and click that, gonna get us this. Count 32 average, max average 0. Minimum 3, average 0. That's not right. I lost the average calculation somewhere here. Average equals math dot ceiling total divided by count. Okay, don't know where the average went there. Boom. Total minimum maximum average 37,000. We probably should do a separate version of just the progress keys. So if we look at local storage keys, if we just do this quickly here. So then we'll add like a key filter. Like a little regex. So we'll do a key re key, and then the default for that is just dot asterisk, right? Then here we'll do get a little bit more verbose. And we'll get the key. Key equals like that. Key. If array key dot test key, if not, continue. New, right? And then we can do a version here where this only includes progress, like that. And then the stats should take care of the rest. Here we go. Yeah, so now we only have 22. So the total for the progress is 772K. So that's a lot more useful, right? So we know that our progress data storage is about 72K, and that's for 22 puzzles. So the average here is a bit chunkier than the non-progress puzzles. But obviously, people are not likely to. Well, I don't know. I don't know exactly how people use it. You know, some people might use it by adding a puzzle and playing it, and other people might add a lot of puzzles and not necessarily play them all. So the number of full progress bits of data they have. But the progress data is more disposable than the puzzle data, I would say. To some extent, right? As long as the for finished puzzles. For non-finished puzzles, obviously the progress might be very important. All right, let's wrap that up so that goes somehow into the thing, into the log. So let's say this, we're gonna do something like let progress stats equals, boom, and let puzzle stats equals this. Right. And then here, we're gonna do a little bit more local native storage, local support. And then we'll do a, we'll just throw that in there like that. Object.stringify. And we'll do the same thing for puzzle stats. And we can get rid of all this, I think. Okay. Now on my phone, obviously, it won't show us very much right now because it has suffered the data loss, so there's nothing there, which is infuriating. Although I think on my main phone it might have also done that. Unfortunate. Object.stringify. Stringy. String. Stringy. String. Object. No, not object. JSON. All right. And then the next step will be to install this cloud storage plugin and see if we can do something with this, and if the two can coexist as well. So that is also not guaranteed in any way. That's not. Yep. This is all wrong. We want to have these in here as a singular thing, obviously. So maybe we can just do something like this. And this and this. Hey. Alright. Basics, buddy, basics. And the min height should be probably a little bit higher. Maybe 5. That. So, it's good enough. We can see it. And then we can do our tests. All right, let's have a look at the other one. Let's have a quick look at this one. Share evaluation. The plugin is evaluated based on the pre. Now, this is so weird. This is a scientific paper. Like, man, what kind? Like, is this somebody's master's thesis, or is this just? I don't even understand. Is this academic work or a white paper done by people working in a company? Paper presented assessment of data storage strategies. No, different performed. I mean, this is basically what I do, but like, I don't write a paper about it. I didn't realize these sort of things are worthy of a paper. Email first name dot last name. Is this like anti-spam stuff, or did they just never fix the? They didn't update the template, maybe. All right, local storage, secure storage, Cordova file plugin. iOS, NSData, Java IO, Cordova file plugin. Local storage, shared press, property list, keychain, okay. Native storage plugin. I bet plugin boolean disk. It does go to disk. Native part of the plugin. Developed both Android and iOS. These mobile plugin. Yeah. Problem is, things change. Is it still relevant? Does it still work? Will it work next year, you know? Very frustrating. See, up development. Best application to basic application. Basic code operations. What else do they have between native? Results. Yeah, okay. I'm not really concerned about performance, to be honest. Like, the data I'm storing is not a lot. Test application. Performance exam. We're storing and retrieving string values. Total duration of storing and retrieving thousands of variables measured. The average retrieval time. Control mechanisms are local storage, native storage. Just storage mechanisms are private to the application, including backups on both mobile platforms, with the exception of property list. Property lists Can be stored in arbitrary locations, can be backed up depending on the specific. Files are protected by protection clause. Persistent variables. All persistent variable storage mechanisms. Persistent variables. Test again. Are we still talking about the same thing though? Active storage. Plugin consists just realization. Storage API coverage. Cordova framework. Introduction. Are they comparing things or? Channels this work by providing overview, performance analysis, yada yada yada. Yeah. Storage API coverage B. 2 files, 3 persistent variables, and understanding here. Sensitive data. Native storage plugin. Import limitations. I don't know what the Roman numeral 4 means here. 3. So that's a new section or a new paragraph? New chapter, I guess. Native storage plugin. A, requirements. B, realization. C, evaluation. And 5, evaluation. Duck typing using language. User GitHub, yada yada yada. Performance. Data storage consists of 2 parts. So they don't really go beyond that. Okay. Got it. I think. That's the native storage stuff. And that's the cloud stuff. Alright, choose cloud settings. JSON data. Patched version. Load, never resolved. Will this variant does introduce break and change? No. This branch is not going to replace branch. Okay. Deep is unfound. Using loop variable prop from some other outer global scope for the probe may prevent organization of JavaScript to declare the variable. The head of this for loop occurrences cloud settings. Okay. Don't care. Nothing exists. Class little promise. I have settings loaded in the cloud, so I call clouds in iOS, no problem. Alright, so let's just install it. If that even works, because that's the other thing. My god, the hassle I went through to get certain things just even installed. Let's see, maybe that doesn't even work. Then I'm wasting my time worrying about it, right? So let's try that. So we're under SudokuPad. We want to be over here. Nope, we want to be here. Under Linux. This is also useful. This is kind of stuff I didn't really know before. Cordova plugin cloud settings. Indicates the store cloud setting exists. Save. So maybe we can do a bit of a save of like a large chunk of data and see how far it lets us go and all that. We might have to make some space for those testing buttons. Can I add a style here? Style. Color grid. I don't know. Does that work? Can I do that? Is that legal? Like if I press this button now, native storage is not defined. Yeah, that's fine. 138. 138. Okay. If your source is undefined, if type of native storage equals undefined, then native storage equals an empty object. Maybe that'll get rid of some of these errors. Just so I can open the dialog and test the UI and all that stuff. I don't know if the options thing, it does carry the styles over. Can I scale 0.5? Line size 0.5 rem. And then the font size here is probably overwritten, unless we make it important. Important. Yeah. Font size 1.2 rem. Doesn't care. Doesn't care about the importance of our font size. No. What if we get font size? This looks correct. Get rid of that. Font size 0. It doesn't apply to its children? Ah, that's so annoying. Can I flow them? Ah, can I do a flex direction row? Ah. Flex direction row. Now the question is, will it wrap the buttons? No. Oh, that's annoying. Why are they so big? Okay. I wish I could apply a style to an outer wrapper and then have it affect the things inside. Flex center. Flex wrap. Can I just flex wrap this stuff? Flex wrap. Yeah. So flex wrap wrap. If I do a flex wrap wrap. Flex wrap wrap. Okay, that could do the trick. So if we do a flex direction row and flex wrap wrap, then these buttons won't take so much damn space. Okay. And then we can add more buttons because that's really what we want. And cancel we don't actually need. Okay. Plugin. Plugin doesn't support the project's Cordova Android version. Failed version requirements. Skipping Cordova plugin file for Android. Cordova plugin file. Cordova plugin errors cannot be added. Changes in this plugin conflicts with changes to conflict here. Conflicts must be resolved. The plugin can be added. Edit conflict changes this plugin conflict. The problem is it doesn't tell me what the conflict, the edit, whatever things are. So that is troublesome. Shoot. And that's kind of, yeah, that's always the problem with these things. So, it's basically just horrendously out of date. And the question is it worth trying to get it back into date? Why is it installing plugin file? Is that a dependency of Cordova plugin cloud settings? All right. If we go to cloud settings, issues, and we search, we don't care about is open. We'll search for conflict. There's a conflict trying to modify attributes. Yeah. There's ever a fix for this? I'm coming across the same issue and I'm building an app on Ionic platforms with the force option, but without. Why is an issue with the code that cannot be resolved by this plugin? We're simply making use of edit conflict as documented. Thanks for the live. Since plugin conflicts with the HomeGet plugin push. The application element by HomeGet plugin push. Directly using and adding plugin after adding seemed to work okay. Sure, I can fix this issue from within this plugin. The only possible solution I can think of would be to write a custom hook script to add the attributes instead of relying on the provided edit config method. Probably best for now, document this as a caveat or provide recommended workarounds. I don't know Cordova plugin work, plugin special Cordova. The problem is, can we even figure out what it is conflicting? Skipping Cordova plugin file. Now the thing is, I don't think I have Cordova plugin. I do have Cordova plugin file. What if we remove this for now? So what if I do Cordova plugin remove Cordova plugin file? I'm obviously not using it right now. I might want to use it in the future. Cordova plugin list. How can I have a conflict with something that doesn't exist? It's freaking there. Ugh. Ah. All right, I mistyped it. All right, all right. Nobody told me. Preparing file proxy. I hope it doesn't mess with stuff that I need elsewhere. Okay. Only from browser and from Android browser and Electron. Okay. So now we're going back here. It shouldn't be there anymore. Now this should be worth another try. In fact, it's there. Why is it installing? Frick. Does it have a weird dependency or something? I don't know how this stuff works, to be honest. SudokuPad, plugins, cloud settings, package.json, plugin. Because if that it depends on plugin files, my god, I don't see it. I don't see it here. If we look at the JSON, you see anything here? No. So why is it conflicting with something that isn't there? Why is it reinstalling it? Cordova reinstalls plugin after removing reinstalls. Yeah, Google, you're freaking useless. Holy moly, so useless, shockingly useless. All right, Cordova plugin file, is that here? No. Why is Cordova plugin file coming back? Plugin file. Is this in here somewhere? File. If I search for Cordova-plugin-file in not just www, but the whole project folder, where are we getting to? All right, it's 9:05. We don't have much more time. We have Android permissions, dependency ID. So it does have a fucking dependency on plugin file. Does it need that though? Over cloud settings. So over plugin file. How can it conflict with something that's in its own dependency tree? It's so ridiculous. Anywhere here? That's the only thing. Okay, what's the error it's mentioning here? Copy new file. Error failed to install plugins. Failed to install cloud settings. During processing of action. Attempting to revert. Skipping for Android. Plugin doesn't support this project's Cordova Android version. Failed version requirements. Cordova Android 10.1.2. So I need to update that. Is that what it's telling me? That my version is too old? Which is a bit scary because I have chased that tail around the table a couple of times and it's painful. Because then I think other things aren't up to, my god. All right. Well. If I search Cordova Android and go from 10 to 12, can I update this? issues. Not possible. So let's make sure we remember which version there's right now. And we might have to get back to it. So we need greater than 12. And what version is Cordova Android at the moment? Cordova Android is version 12.2. Dev, but not, I don't want the dev version. Cordova Android npm Cordova-Android. What version does it claim to be? And what's the sort of... Is that the latest? All right, 12.0.1. Okay. So we want npm install no. So wait a second. Cordova platform add specific version. Android with specific version. Can I update that without having to do... Okay, so Cordova platform add Android version of Android platform 12.0.1 was it? 12.0.1. So if I do this, it might make me want to remove it first, and I'm not sure if I want to do that. Version URL. And I can't mistype this stuff all the time. It's gonna bite me in the back so hard one day. Android 12.0.1. Error unsupported URL type. Not a colon. At. I'm getting everything wrong. Holy moly. Maybe I should just ChatGPT sort it out. Yeah, good luck with that. Alright. And this is probably off screen, at the bottom of the screen, super tiny, that nobody can see. So that was probably riveting streaming content. Let me see. People on Twitch at all. 2 viewers on Twitch. I don't believe it. One of them is from me. Yeah. Alright. Can't blame me. It says already up. It says already added. Now, does that mean the version that I'm bloody asking you to add? Cordova platform. Okay, that looks good. That actually, it's updated the version. I don't like the wording of already added. All right, let's try this again. So we're installing it. And it's still getting us this stuff. But now it's for the file thing. Can I read properties of undefined reading substring? Can I read properties of undefined? Now this is a very different error. Do I actually have to go in here now and look at the source of Cordova and figure out what the hell it's doing? Cordova Android, lib config, Cordova config parser. And what is it parsing at this point? cdv gradle config JSON platform directory. So I'm guessing platform Android cdv gradle config JSON. Now the error we're getting is in line 59. So not this. Package cdv gradle config JSON. So cdv gradle config where read config yada yada yada, and then it should come out of here, and it doesn't have the namespace. So package namespace, new Android package namespace, and in So cdv Gradle config.json, and I misspelled that, package namespace, package. So this stuff, I shouldn't have to do this manually, should I? It's obviously expecting a package namespace here. And the error is obviously can't read properties of undefined. So we go back to here, Cordova, Android, package namespace, and then can't read here. Name, package name, space, can't read properties, can't read property. Post, yada, yada, yada. Update. Maybe I have to do the platform update. Cordova platform update Android at 12.0.1 -- save. So maybe it had the files there and it didn't really do the update. Unhandled error. Update platform is not callable from the Android project API. You will need to do this manually. Why? Why can't you just do it? That's your job. Possible. You just installed npm yesterday. I think my version up to date. Maybe create npm update. npm update. Dear, I don't want to remove an ad. Even though maybe it'll fix it. Install Cordova at Android version older than 5. Try to force Cordova update. I don't want to update Cordova itself either. That's a scary notion. Cordova-v. Cordova-v. 9.4. What's the version? What did this? Oh, maybe npm version. All right, 11.1.0. npm Cordova. What is the actual current version of Cordova that I should be looking for? So we have 11.1.0, and Cordova is currently at 12.0. Do I want to update to 12 right now? Maybe I should. Maybe it'll sort everything out. Maybe not. All right. Oh, it's still running npm update. All right. What is in this file here? cdv Gradle update JSON. If I get rid of these things, what is it gonna give me? How? And get the indicator. Yeah. References minus k value. Package name. Cordova package name. What is the package name? Android.json. Package name. Find package name. Alright, I assumed it was that. Problem is, it's present. It's not present here though. Maybe it should be. Maybe it should be. I mean, I can throw it into here as well. What? I mean, it looks like it should be here, to be honest. Fuck it, hey, let's put it in there. This is still going. Search for Cordova Android. Yeah, this update platform is not callable from Android project API. That is still a weird one actually, because hey, Disgust, Dasgust, how you doing? Not the most exciting stream today, I'm afraid. Just me banging my head against the walls of Android and iOS development and out of date Cordova. Like this is it could be a beautiful freaking platform. It's such a shame that, like, and you'd think it would be in Google's interest to have something like this up and running. I don't know what they're thinking. Why it's such a mess as well. Plugin device. Plugin add. Remove Android plugin. Add plugin again. I don't like the idea of removing the platform because I don't know what kind of customizations and hacks I've put in here. Hey! Awesome. What platform are you using? iOS or Android? Hey, Thomas. Alright, come on. Come on, get on with it. Why is this taking so long? What is it? Cordova iOS. Why is it? Yeah, I've had a weird thing yesterday as well. I was downloading backups from the server, and it took like an hour. They usually take like minutes max. I don't know if my internet connection is currently like the local speed tests work fine. If I can speed test maybe to a different server, like even opening speed test is taking forever. Like what the heck? What's going on? I mean, I'm live streaming and all that, but I have a almost a like half gigabit fiber connection. Change server. Let's say Frankfurt. Not even US. Frankfurt. Local hub such. German glass fiber. Here we go. This should be like, I normally can get 20 to 40 megabytes per second downloads. And this is taking a very long time. Yeah, this is fine. I mean, it's not my local speed, but you know, I am live streaming and I am doing whatever this is doing. Let's see. Physical memory. IO, right. Well, it was writing 30 megabytes per second. So maybe we're underestimating how big this thing is. What's it here? O. I don't know what O is. That's so weird. But that's through Chrome. Wait a second. What is Chrome doing? What is Chrome doing? Why is Chrome writing 40 megabytes per second for like 10, 15 seconds here? I don't know. All right, Cordova iOS. So it is still on Cordova iOS though. Yeah. How big is this file? I don't know. I don't really need to update those. Firefox and Android for me. Ah, so you don't have the paid app, I'm guessing. So you don't have to worry about all this data stuff. Yeah. I should do something where the web app reports back how many puzzles people have. It would be interesting to know what like the max is. Like 150 sounds pretty kind of, I don't know, right? Like I have no clue. I don't even know my own, right? And they mine are really unreliable because they change all the time because I'm testing and such. So if I go here, right, and I'll go, and I'll run that little bit of code that we had earlier for getting the stats. Actually, if I do, where is it? I'm gonna have to look at the code. I'm gonna actually have to do this. What do I call it? We have the get stats and the get local storage, right? So if I make a little piece of code here, something like this, right? And then I'll do a console log of get JSON stats, of get local storage, of progress, like that. Like if I run that in here, what am I getting? Air dot for each. Get local storage. Ah, yes, my bad. Object dot values. Like if I do this, I get 130 items, 570 kilobytes, right? But if I go to localhost 800, 8,000, no, 9,007. Wait, I don't know which one is my base version. 5,000. 5,000. We go here. Yeah, all right. So you shouldn't really have any worries about the size of the data. Yeah, like even the main one where I basically solve a lot of the ones, I only have 200. And like even just doing testing, I probably solve quite a ton. Beta, that's probably where I do a lot of testing as well. 175. And the main site, SudokuPad.app, I have 58. So yeah, like 300 is actually a lot. And I probably just filled that up with testing and so on. All right. I need this freaking install to finish though. I can stall forever. Did that finish? All right. So this is the thing that failed, right? I don't know which version is installed now because it's not telling me properly. And I still have no idea what this phrase means. Right. Update platform. Update platform is not callable. Android platform does not have supposed to add Android platform on Ionic project. Ah man. Sometimes Google is really terrible in just returning a search result with the words in it that you're searching for. It's what the heck has happened? Like this is the first here is already much more relevant. I don't know what they're doing. You're welcome. How long will the Apple iOS update be? Well, it all depends on this stuff. How quickly I can figure out all this mess. It could be relatively quick. You know, one of these plugins could just install and work and do the thing, right? But that's the problem. It never works. It's never that easy, you know? If everything worked the way it's supposed to, it'd be like a weekend, you know? All right. Then should add ng module script platform which doesn't exist. The session cannot be. You should check Cordova platform list. Clean your configs and not package JSON of this platform. Cordova platform arm ng module scripts. Cordova platform list. Android, browser, Electron. Yeah, these are the ones I'm using. All right. If I try to install plugin add this again, maybe something is better now it was. Process of action. Attempting to revert Cordova error. Great. Failed to install Cordova plugin file. All right. What if I install Cordova plugin file directly? Plug in remove. Installing web browser undefined using substring. Now it doesn't tell me even where. All right, I think we might have to manually get rid of some things here, which is really daunting because I don't know anything about these systems. So whatever I do could just blow things up, and they just say, well, you did the thing that blows things up. Why did you press the blow things up button, you know? So if I remove this from here, and I'm gonna just move it over here for a sec, and then manually go in here and say plug in file. I don't see it here. I don't see it here. And that's all wrong. What the heck? Wait. These are all wrong. Why are these all wrong still? That's the thing, like it doesn't tell you why things happen or don't happen. You have no way of fixing it. Just it silently breaks. Okay. Away. Electron. I'm so sure I fixed these in the past. I mean, it's okay. I'm not doing releases right now, but why does this package name get changed all the freaking time? And IO Cordova Hello whatever shouldn't even exist anywhere in this project. Like, yeah, in defaults, but it shouldn't be using defaults. All right. Anywhere else? This also looks like some sort of default. I don't know why it has these defaults in here. Like, why? It's just a recipe for disaster. This much should I do the root, yada yada yada. Unless it needs the original one to identify it within the... You know, maybe it's designed to look for these and then replace them with the correct one at runtime or something. I don't know. And iocordova.hello whatever is its sort of marker to search for by changing, you know. But that's the thing. I don't freaking know. How am I supposed to know? Defaults electron.json. No. All right, let's find all of these again. And now they should only show up in the defaults. Default, default. But then executable. No, it skipped them. Okay, defaults. All right, defaults is fine. Now the other thing we want to search for is Cordova plugin file, because we're apparently manually removing that now. Why? I don't know. We just are. Because nothing works properly. Hey. Right. All right. Thanks. Lug is probably the only thing that's gonna help me. All right, so npm remove Cordova. Nope. Or Cordova plugin file. And I still don't understand the connection between the npm installation and the plugin add and all these different things. It's just all... and I should probably have done dash save. Dash save. All right. Plugins. We need to remove it from here. And from here. Here. All of these need to go, I'm guessing. File, metadata. All of these Cordova plugin dash file entries. All the way down to here. All right. That's still there. Don't know why. Did we have remove Cordova plugin, remove Cordova plugin file? File plugin is not present in the project. Cordova plugin list. Platforms and plugins and all sorts of things. Yeah, it thinks it's not present. Well, I'm seeing references all over the frickin' place. Fetch JSON. Don't know why that's in here. Don't even know what this fetch JSON does. All right, search for it again. So remove Android permissions. It's file opener though. Plugin file directory entry. Now these are the actual implementations in the platforms. I should probably remove these as well, shouldn't I? Geez. All right, so that's under platforms, Android, and platform plugins, and then we have this. And then we'll probably have the same things here. Platform plugins, except there it's So I don't know, maybe the removal got interrupted and it just didn't clean up after itself or whatever. Man, that kind of process needs to be robust. All right, search again. That should remove all those other ones. Okay, plugin XML. That's the, yeah. Okay, so that's the ones that we need. Storing and retrieving is means of that. Okay, well, let's see. Plugin, add file plugin cloud settings. The problem is even that is kind of partially installed with errors and all this stuff now, so that might be a problem. Okay. So this is can I just open that? No. All right, config parser, line 59. Substring, package name, last index off. Package name. So, console.log. If I do this, then run this again. I don't know if this is gonna get overwritten or not. Coding exception already exists, yada yada. Failed to install, why? So this error causes a partial installation, which then lets me not run this again. Really? Do I have to manually remove it again? Plugin, oh, Jesus Christ. I really have to manually remove it each time it does this stupid thing. It's back everywhere again. Let's do this. Bringify. No. And Cordova plugin remove. Cordova plugin file. I'm gonna write my own freaking plugin uninstaller at this rate. So if I have to do this, npm remove Cordova plugin file save. Already fetched. So it's caching it somewhere, and I'm guessing it's this fetch JSON file. That's on the plugin, right? Fetch. Get rid of that again. So Cordova plugin install. And that's, I think it's add, because we gotta change the frickin' wording every 2 seconds. I should probably look into that as well. Cordova plugin file. Now the thing is, I had this myself. I already was using it. So why is there suddenly this problem? Attempting to revert. Cordova error. Blah, 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 blah. And it's back. Let's get rid of it. Search for it and manually frickin' remove it. npm remove save. Gotta fucking remove it out of every file. It's gone in everywhere. All of these need to be gone. Probably all the way to the bottom. Gone. All of these need to be gone. Also all the way to the bottom. Getting faster at this at least. Get rid of this. Gotta get rid of the actual files. So platform, Android, plugins, Electron, plugins, browser, platform, plugins. Where's this one? Android, plugins. Not seeing it here. App, source, main, plugin file. Oh man. It's gotten in everywhere. Platforms, Android, app, source, main, asset. Jesus Christ. Why would it do that? Alright. All of this is plugin file. And I don't know if I'm deleting something else and I'm breaking something else, and it scares the hell out of me. The only thing worse than having this happen is what might happen because of me removing things willy-nilly from various files that I don't understand. Because it is, frankly, ununderstandable. Holy moly. Alright, any more besides the actual files themselves? Plugin XML. I don't know why this is even here. Plugin XML. Where's this even coming from? Plugin file. The main folder's still here. Jesus Christ. Plugin file. Go away. Android JSON. I don't know why that's still here. Okay. It's the Android file opener. All of these were gone earlier. Alright. I think I've removed it again. Now, do we have this here? So, let's output this twice. Here and here. Yeah. And forget this, because that's not going to work on the terminal here on the Node.js console. Get name from package name. Get project name from package name. And why is this not in here anyways? I don't even understand that. Alright. Platforms. Is it maybe like one of them where it's missing? Gradle config. Package name. So it could be that it's running them all and one of those is missing. But no, it only exists here. Root project name. Do not edit. Gradle properties. Alright. Config XML. Package name. ID. Find package. Package. Core. Oh. Cordova. Android package name. I think my computer is just not handling me. The number of freaking browser windows I have open all the time and all this stuff sometimes just freezes. Just expecting it one of these days to crash and lose a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, is it just using the idea? You can use Android package name inside the... Okay. Android package name. That's new. So, wait. Doesn't you know how to change the package name of an Android project built with Cordova? I tried to change the Android package project name by removing the Android platform from the project, changing the widget ID. Alright, I need to stop the stream. Yeah, it's gone on too long. Dinner is inevitable, hopefully. All right, guys, this is not super interesting for the stream. Anyways, I'm going to fiddle a little bit for a couple more minutes, but then I have the test version. I'm going to run that on my iOS device. That's step one. Step two, like the native storage might already solve the problem. So this cloud storage was just like a, hey, let's try this quickly. Oh, I forgot. 1 second, I need to figure something out. I forgot that my girlfriend isn't gonna have dinner with me today. All right, this is interesting. Supposed to use that. You built your project during the long reading package name. I just tested the errors occurs because of failed assertions while your app is being started. This assertion will rely on your old package name, but without the assertion code, it's hard to tell. You can use Android package name. Does that actually do the thing? For anything? Yeah, it's not in the documentation. Should I take the AP, the ID of Android package? I mean, if the app in Play Store already published using ID and I add Android package name to a country with the new name, can I republish the APK on the same app? No, the ID of the package name. This allows you to use one ID for iOS, another one for Android. But once you publish, the ID package name can't be changed. Okay. All right, so that doesn't solve that problem, but maybe it'll set things up correctly. I guess at this point, we're just going to try once again. Right? At the very least, we should now get some kind of output from this change. Hopefully. Yeah, because it's in node module, so this shouldn't get reverted. Hey, Thomas. Yeah, all right. I said I'm gonna stop the stream. Normally I do a quick play. My girlfriend told me there's another couple of minutes to go. I'm not gonna do that, actually, to be honest. I'm super tired. It's past 10 o'clock now. Sorry about the just me staring at terminals and error messages, but sometimes I gotta do this on stream just because it's so bad that I can't do it otherwise. So the stream helps me to get this done, and a lot of the work is like this, actually. A lot of the hardest work is like this. It's not the hard thing is not to develop an interesting algorithm, because when it's interesting, it makes it easy for me. The hard work is this sort of stuff where it's not in my control, where it's not up to my skills, really. It doesn't feel like it's up to my skills. I mean, I obviously lack a lot of knowledge in terms of Android, but the thing is, like, it looks like in terms of Cordova, everybody lacks this knowledge, you know. Sometimes maybe I'd be better off just starting from scratch and building native for Android, and maybe it'll work better. Anyway, it is what it is. Thanks, guys, for hanging out. It helps me to keep going. And obviously, thanks for your support on Patreon. It helps so much. It shut up so well end of last year, and then the last 8 months it's basically just been in maintenance mode, and it's been basically the same number of patrons. But it's still it's actually a solid chunk of income for me now. It's like 400 euros a month, which obviously doesn't pay the bills, but it's more than nothing. And with that, at least it gives me the hope that in the future maybe I'll get up there and get back to actually making a full-time income with this thing instead of just dumping more money into it over the years. But for now, I'm at least at the precipice of getting this stuff sorted. There's no like unsurmountable problems. It's just annoying little stuff that delays things over and over. Anyway, thanks a lot for your time to hang out with me. And I hope I see you guys again. And, you know, stay in touch. Take care.